Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome into another episode of the Spoiler Alert podcast. We're back with a much shorter episode than our last three.
Yeah.
Those have all been like an hour and a half plus. This one, I don't know if we make an hour.
We probably won't. There wasn't a ton of stuff this week. I mean, especially at the box office. But next week, though, should be a good one.
Yeah,
Next week, we
there
have
is.
two of the bigger releases left of the year to come out.
There's not shit coming out this week. Like I had
Yeah.
maybe 5 or 6 things in the upcoming movies, and then I went and looked them up, and these are either Bollywood movies or
Yep.
documentaries that no one cares about. So let's go from there. So the only upcoming movie this week that people are actually going to watch is Red One. I don't think it'll be watched by me per se,
Right.
but Red One, after Santa Claus, codename Red One, is kidnapped. The North Pole's head of security, Dwayne Johnson, of course, must team up with the world's most infamous bounty hunter, Chris Evans, in a globetrotting, action-packed mission to save Christmas. So it seems like these guys, once they kind of peak and get up there, they just got to be thrown in every movie. And I mean, now that he's not Captain America, he needs something else to do, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And I mean, I think I'm starting to hate The Rock.
Yeah, no, I've been there for a little bit. He's just annoying.
Yeah, he's just annoying. I saw for this movie, he said he sat and watched it in the same seat in the
Yeah.
cinema that Nolan did for Oppenheimer. It's like, dude, to even make that comparison is fucking asinine. Shut your mouth, The
Yeah.
Rock.
Fucking
But
big
yeah,
shit.
I mean, this is not getting very good reviews critically, but I think audiences seem to like it. It's probably more of a
Yeah.
kids movie, definitely more of a kids movie. But to be
It's-
2 hours long is still a long, like a pretty long kids movie.
Yeah, have them pay attention that whole time. Like, obviously, it's very unlikely that the children are the ones rating this movie, but maybe the parents
Right.
are just like, yeah, my kid liked it. That's good enough for me.
I have a couple reviews right here pulled up on Rotten Tomatoes. One says very enjoyable Christmas movie. Then this one says too long and not funny or interesting enough. Need more character development from the Rock's character.
What do you mean? That's him in every movie.
Exactly.
He plays
I mean,
himself.
most of these reviews I'm seeing from the audience are all like 5 stars. I just found one that's a half a star. It says, "What even was this? Why was this made? Why would anybody watch this? Fun Christmas movie for kids to watch. Not worth the $235 million budget. Holy shit!
Is that true? Holy.
Wow, if that's true, I saw it made like 10 million in the previews. So that's like not a very good. I mean, it might make money just because it's like a Christmas movie right around the holiday season. But I mean,
Sure.
holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah, and it's the same writers, directors that were the ones that brought The Rock into the Fast and Furious movies. So they're apparently just obsessed with him. They brought him in here. They did that. They did the Jumanji movies. It's all the same people. So
Okay,
I imagine it's going to feel much like one of those movies.
that's probably why the budget was so much too.
Yeah.
Just fucking
This
into the
world
Rock
movie.
bag. I'm gonna look and see. This sounds very similar to another movie The Rock made, and
The Tooth
never mind.
Fairy.
Yeah, it's like there's something that was similar, and I can't find The Rock's filmography very quickly on Wikipedia, so I'm not that worried about it. Fuck it.
Okay. Yeah. He just, honestly, they just throw him in things. They say, okay, remember how you acted in that last thing you did? Yeah. All right. Do that again. Because
Rock.
that's what you do in every movie.
Just go do The Rock. Okay, I was thinking of Red Notice, which is a movie he was just in. So he's got
Gotcha.
Red Notice and Red One.
Are they both Christmas movies?
No, Red Notice is the one that he was in with Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. Apparently, it was
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I think it was just a Netflix movie. I didn't even watch that.
They try to make him funny.
He's gonna be in Moana 2 too. That's coming out in a couple. Wait, I think that's coming out in a couple weeks. Yeah,
Yeah, that's soon.
that might
That's
be worth
soon.
a watch.
I think so. I like the first one.
Yeah, and then he's gonna be in the live action Moana movie too, which is kind of
Really? He's gonna play
Kinda cool.
himself?
Yeah, I think so.
That makes sense. I mean, the dude, give him a wig and it's him.
Yeah, I mean he just literally is Maui. So
That's all I got. I ain't got anything else that's coming out.
nothing else of note. That's okay. It wasn't too much news this week. Not a lot of shit going on, but one of the biggest pieces of news was that Conan O'Brien is going to host the 2025 Oscars, which is probably the best thing the Oscars have done in recent memory because I feel like everybody's just tired of Jimmy Kimmel hosting everything. So I'm glad he's getting his first shot at hosting the Oscars. The Academy CEO Bill Kramer said he's the perfect person to help lead our global celebration of film with his brilliant humor, his love of movies, and his live TV expertise. His remarkable ability to connect with audiences will bring viewers together to do what the Oscars do best: honor the spectacular films and filmmakers of the year. It's like that's a lot of shit to just say. Yeah, Conan O'Brien's cool. We're gonna let him host
Yeah,
the Oscars
I,
this
li-
year.
I like Conan.
I do
He's
like
not.
Conan a lot, though. Did you see his episode of Hot Ones?
Yeah, yeah.
It was. I think that was probably the best episode of Hot Ones ever.
I like him a lot. He's good friends with Sandler, and I watch every time he's on there. And he did like the when Sandler won that. I think it was an Ernest Hemingway Award, one of those awards, and he like gave a whole speech for him. So he's a chill
Yeah.
dude. He's down to earth. He's not just like a talking head up there that's just going to
Yeah.
spew nonsense.
I think I like him way more than Kimmel, so I think he'll be a lot more
Yeah.
charismatic too. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, he won't just
I don't.
cry on.
When are the Oscars? Like March, February, March? Yeah, give me a break.
Yeah,
Kimmel.
usually like February.
That's what I thought. So I mean, that's coming up. Like we said last episode, it'll be here before we know it. But hold on, I cannot just not talk about this. I'm watching. I just have whatever channel the fights are on first, and there are guys fighting inside of a car, and it's being.
Oh, is it
scored.
Jitsu?
I think so.
Yeah, I've seen that. You can choke
is
people with
Jiu-Jitsu.
seatbelts.
I looked up on my TV and saw that, and I was just blown away at what I was watching. Oh my god,
It's a fun watch.
that is crazy!
Also, I'm getting super into karate combat.
That's actually pretty.
That
Fun.
shit's fun. It's wild.
I like that little like pit they fight in.
Yeah. Yeah, so that might be like the new thing jiu-jitsu does too, because Craig Jones?
Yeah.
Yes, his big tournament was in the karate combat like pit.
Huh.
It was pretty sick.
Okay. Anyway, so
A little sidebar.
we had this. The 2026 Star Wars movie was going to be coming out December 18th, apparently, but it is now going to be Ice Age 6. Disney removed it from their calendar. So whatever movie that was going to be got pulled. It's now going to be Ice Age 6, which I can't believe there are that many Ice Age movies.
How is that a replacement? Like, that's just like, hey, this movie's coming out too.
Yeah, I
feel
thought
like that
there was.
can't-
I didn't even know that Ice Age was a Disney thing. So is it
I
like,
didn't either.
did they get that with like some kind of acquisition or something like that? 'Cause-
You know what? It was Fox, I think. I'm
Okay,
pretty sure
that's what I
it was
figured.
originally Fox. Yeah.
I might have seen the first two of those, and then after that, they were. I mean, I aged out of it, but yeah, I mean that's just nuts. But I
the
did see that
first one's a
Go ahead.
classic.
Oh yeah, first one is hilarious. Ray Romano is just a gigantic woolly mammoth.
Good shit.
I did see though this week that Disney announced that. Unless I don't think we talked about this in the last episode. Simon Kinberg, he's produced a lot of movies. He directed X-Men: Dark Phoenix. He's going to write and produce a new Star Wars trilogy, which is apparently different characters than the Skywalker saga, but there's also still a Rey movie in development. So it's kind of confusing here with all these different movies that they have. Yeah, I'm losing interest very quickly. So, I mean, we'll see when that all comes out. If it does, who knows? But
like that's why people got excited for Star Wars movies, because there was the original trilogy, in the 70s.
Yeah.
And then there was the prequels in, what was that, like 2001 to 2007-ish, something like that. And then there was the sequels. And people were excited for at least the first one, because there was a decade usually between them. Now they're just shoving it down our throat, and we're full.
Yeah, doing too much, especially since like Disney Plus and all that came out. There's just too much stuff to watch now. I'm not gonna. I do like the sequels. I do. Whenever they first came out,
first one
was solid. Second one I think was solid too, and the third one was kind of just eh. But overall I liked them. But I've never been the absolute biggest Star Wars guy, but I like them. But yeah, I mean, this is just all too much. The last big piece of news though that we got is the Mission Impossible teaser trailer for the new movie, The Final Reckoning. It is called. Did you see it? Did you watch it?
I did watch it.
It's awesome. I'm fired up. I wonder if it's going to end Ethan Hunt's story, or if they're going to kill him off. Because I did see that Tom Cruise wants Glenn Powell to take over the franchise. So I mean, we'll see. But this is automatically my most anticipated for next year, or one of my most anticipated for next year. I can't wait. But that was the last thing of news I had. There was not a lot this week.
Yeah, we're just scraping the bottom of the barrel here for a lot of this stuff. So let's just go ahead, jump into some convince you to sees or not. We got, looks like 5 here. Tyler, let me know if I missed any, but I saw Emilia Perez and Look Back. You
Mhm.
saw Heretic, Don't Move, in Anora.
Yep. Good.
I'm excited for what you got to say about Anora because that's currently the front runner for Best Picture.
Should I start off with it?
If you like,
Let's do it. Let's do it. So yeah, Anora. After hearing nothing but great reviews, finally got to see this one. It was one of my last most anticipated movies for the rest of the year, and it really didn't disappoint at all. It currently has an 8.2 on IMDb, 96% certified fresh critic, and 91% audience on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 4.2 average on Letterboxd. So all really good scores there. You don't see a lot of 90s and 90s on Rotten Tomatoes, and especially like every time we look at a movie on IMDb, it seems like it gets a 7, no matter how well reviewed it is. This is in the 8s. Not a lot of stuff in IMDb gets higher than an 8, it seems like. But directed by Sean Baker, same guy that did Red Rocket. He did a couple other things, but Red Rocket was another one that was talked about for potential awards and stuff like that. It was the first American movie to win the Palme d'Or since like, I don't know, 2011 or something like that. I saw, but starring Mikey Madison, and it has a really great supporting cast of people that I've never heard of before. They're all like Russian American guys, but they're cool, really good. But in this one, Honora is a young sex worker from Brooklyn. She meets and impulsively marries the son of a rich Russian oligarch. Once the news reaches Russia, her fairy tale is threatened as his parents set out to New York to get their marriage annulled. So you can kind of see how that's going to go. But before this, I've only known Mikey Madison for being in Scream from 2022 and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And funnily enough, that's how Sean Baker found her too. He said he saw her in both those movies and he kept rewatching her scenes from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And then he got in touch with her agent to cast her for this role. So apparently it's been in the works for a little bit. But after this movie, she's just going to be in so many because she's definitely has to be the best actress in my opinion. This movie does though, it nails every single thing it does. It's dramatic, it keeps you hooked throughout, and it'll break your heart. She goes through a lot in the span of a few days, and you really can just feel the chaos and the stress of it all. And whenever it finally boils over, she just plays that part absolutely perfectly. And it's really damn funny at sometimes too, because she is a stripper from Brooklyn, and a lot of her antics and even just the way she talks are just funny too. And then on top of that, you have the whole Russian mob like involvement in the guy she marries. It's just a lot. His little like Russian henchmen, they have so many funny one-liners. And whenever they first meet her and like they have to go like separate her from him, and they all start fighting and shit. It's hilarious. The one guy is like a priest, like one of the mob connected people, and he literally just like checks his phone during the middle of like a christening. He's like holding a baby, checks his phone with one hand, and then he just like up and leaves the place. Like, I'm sorry, I have to leave. I have to go deal with something. But one of the reviews I saw about this movie and really just nails it and sums it up perfectly. It says, from dramedy to romance to dark comedy to harsh realism, the story takes you on a journey and doesn't miss an opportunity to gut you, whether you're laughing and staring with an empty mouth feeling at the screen. So, yeah, I would definitely believe all the hype around this one. I
okay.
definitely can't recommend it enough. And I think it's a top 2 or 3 movie on the year for me.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think, yeah, I mean, technically, acting wise, it probably is better than Dune, but Dune was more entertaining movie just because,
Okay.
I mean, it was still just, I still think it was the best movie of the year, but this movie for sure not too far behind it. I think I gave it I think a 9.5, which I still think I
Wow.
liked Long Legs better, which I mean, technically it's not as well acted of a movie, Long Legs, at all or
Yeah.
anything like that, but I liked it a lot. But this one, everything about it is great.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely watch this one. I'm sure it probably will be streaming here not too long from now.
Yeah, no, I got to give that one a go. So, with what you said, it does make sense in my head that this would be a front runner for Best Picture
Mhm.
because of that last statement. Was
Yeah,
this probably has the better acting, but Dune 2 was more entertaining, and
yeah,
Oscars don't really go for entertainment factor. Like,
right.
yeah, obviously that's a part of it. They look at more nuanced things. So that
Yeah,
might be
definitely.
something where, like, when we do our award show,
Mhm.
Dune might end up winning out.
Right.
But
And that's not to say that the acting in Dune isn't good because it's great. This is just acting on a different level.
for sure.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, that actually really excites me because I wasn't sure about it.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, are they just like hyping this movie up because we're getting towards the end of the year and there really hasn't been many other films that kind of even scratch the surface of
Mhm.
being able to compete for Best Picture or what's going on here.
Yeah,
But
no,
I'm glad to see it was
it's
real deal.
it's rare that like all the hype I was in the same boat as you. I was like, is this movie going to be decent? And it was.
Mhm.
So it seems like both critics and audiences are enjoying it.
Rad.
So yeah, definitely worth a watch.
Cool, cool. So I ended up watching what is currently the fourth favorite to win Best Picture, and I'll just say I'm almost positive it won't. Those are crazy people odds. So Amelia Perez, we talked about it last week. Came out in theaters for a short while, and now after a week, it is streaming on Netflix. It was just available for streaming, I believe Thursday was when it actually became available. So while waiting on the buffering and all the nonsense that was going on for the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, I'm like, I'll sneak in
Oh
Amelia.
my.
We'll give that a watch, and then by the time it's over, the fight should be on. Which
Mhm.
that wasn't a fight, but but
No.
this seemed is getting good reviews. Has a 7.1 on IMDb, a 72 on Metacritic. Like the people that are in it, Zoe Saldana, Selena
Mm.
Gomez. There's a decent amount of names here. The director, I don't know very well, but apparently he's decently well known for Mexican cinema. So
Okay.
that's likely why we've never heard much about him. However, he has
Mhm.
written The Sisters Brothers, which is also a funny duo. It's Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Riley, and it's a
Hell yeah, that movie
it's
was
a
awesome.
country
I like
western.
that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love a good country western. It was awesome.
same dude that wrote that, so he has a decent enough background. So gave it a
Yeah.
go. From the trailers, you don't really get this unless I'm just blinded. It's a musical.
What the hell?
It is a musical, so very much like Joker 2, where you get caught off by that. This is also a musical. I won't say it's nearly as intruding as the Joker's was,
Mhm.
because this actually kind of makes sense to be a musical more than the Joker, but maybe not
Huh.
as a film. So with that said, I turned it off. It wasn't a movie for me. I'm
Yeah.
sure it is not the worst movie in the world, but essentially what happens
Mhm.
is they bring in Zoe's
Mhm.
character, and they want to fake her death. She
Mhm.
basically is a cartel leader. This Amelia, or I'm sorry, this what the hell? Her Manitas. I really apologize for that name pronunciation, but she wants to get away from all this, whatever, and then they just randomly sing. And like the cartel, it's not good people and everything. And a lot of the reviews I see here is they're like, glorifying the cartel, the people that actually lost their lives to the cartel, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that seems like a silly argument. Like, we love things like The Penguin, we love things like The Sopranos, Goodfellas.
Mhm.
This isn't different. Like,
Yeah.
those aren't good people, but
Yeah.
they make for good movies. So this one, I don't know, Ty. I honestly can't recommend watching it.
Mhm.
This feels like it is meant for, and they've been doing this a lot. It is meant for an actual theater, a play, a real
Mhm.
musical. When they do that on the quote unquote big screen, which is my living room TV, it doesn't work. So I honestly I don't think it's right for me to give a real rating because I turned it off and I
Mhm.
really don't have any plans of going back and finishing it. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one bit. I don't hate a musical at all. I'm here for a
No.
musical, but the fact that it's a musical about like a Mexican cartel woman that wants to become something else, that's just like too much there.
Yeah.
I don't get that. That's a wild concept. Like you said, that seems like it would play out way better on stage.
Yeah. And I really think it would. This is also a plot point. The cartel leader is transgender. So
Huh,
that's
okay.
why she wants to fake her death and pretend what? Fake her death and live authentically as her true self. That is
Oh,
what they
I
need.
see.
Um
Okay.
so
I was
so
wondering what that was all
yeah.
about because I saw that person. I was like, huh.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean they're all decent actresses in this. They
Mhm.
just it's a little overplayed. It's very much like a theater play where they overact, which is a good thing in theater, but not for a movie. And that's where like
Mhm.
it just feels almost fake, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I know. I feel what you're talking about 100%.
And Selena Gomez is just kind of there.
I was gonna say, is she just like Selena Gomez? Does she sing or anything? Like,
Oh yeah, she'll sing. I don't. Yeah, no. Yeah, she of course sings.
okay, I gotcha.
But yeah, I think I only made it in maybe 20, 30 minutes,
Okay,
and I'm just like, this isn't for me.
there's no way this is gonna be nominated. If this is nominated for Best Picture, I mean, what the fuck are we doing here?
It's going to be.
It seems goofy. It seems goofy.
Yeah, and I
I don't.
think so. Gladiator 2 took a big fall.
Yeah, I saw that
In
it's got like a
odds.
70 something percent
Yeah,
critic on Rotten Tomatoes right now. But at least, I mean, I don't think the first one. I'm gonna check and see that first one did not have a huge.
but I think the first one did win Best Picture, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, it did.
I'm pretty sure it did. Yeah, because
Yeah, it's only
Gladiator
got.
was, I think, third highest odds for winning Best Picture.
Uh
Now it
huh.
is down at 8 at plus 2,000, which essentially means
Oh wow.
no.
Yeah. So the first Gladiator has 80% critics score, and I think two is rated around 70 something. So
Okay.
that's not bad. And it's still certified fresh, so I'm still pumped to see it. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna go see and obviously see it. I just have my expectations a little lower. I saw an interview they did with Ridley Scott,
Mhm.
and they were talking about like actual historians calling him out for putting sharks in the Coliseum. And like, yeah, that's not real. They're saying that never happened. And he's like, oh no, it absolutely happened. They had a big Coliseum and they'd fill it with water, which is true. I found out while I was over there. That was true. And I think we talked about that a few episodes ago. That's a real thing. But they didn't know. They didn't have sharks. They didn't catch sharks. If anything, it was like crocodiles or alligators. There's no sharks.
Yeah,
But
that's hilarious.
Ridley's just defending himself, which is silly.
Yeah, he's been known to kind of be like a doucher.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, next on the list here, you got two choices here. Heretic, Don't Move. Up to you.
I'll go Don't Move since Heretic was the last one I saw. Save that one for last. But like I was telling you, I completely forgot all about this movie. I didn't even really score it whenever I watched it and I forgot to score it. So after I wrote this up, I scored it at the end. We'll see how it goes here. But it's produced by Sam Raimi, who knows his shit whenever it comes to horrors and thrillers, I will admit. But I did think this was a Netflix original, but I don't think they had anything to do. I think they just distribute it. So
Mm.
it's like on Netflix or whatever, but they didn't make it. But they have their banner on it like they did make it. So it's a little confusing. But it's directed by another duo of dudes that I've never heard of or really seen any of their work. Their names are Brian Netto and Adam Schindler. So whatever. But it's starring Kelsey Asbill or Asbilly. I don't know. She's Casey's wife in Yellowstone,
Okay.
and Finn Whitrock, who's been in American Horror Story. It currently has a 5.6 on IMDb. It's 73% critic approval on Rotten Tomatoes, which is still technically fresh, but not certified fresh. And then it's got a whopping 38% audience, which isn't great. But this movie is about a seasoned killer injects a grieving woman with a paralytic agent. She must run, fight, and hide before her body shuts down. So this movie straight up just fits in the category of it's on Netflix, so it's worth a watch, but it's not really that good. There's a lot of really dumb and corny dialogue to it that really annoyed me, especially right in the beginning. Like they're just out hiking. The girl is standing on the ledge because she wants to jump off it and kill herself. And a guy just walks up to her and he's like, just starts yapping at her. And he says, I'm out here hiking before the bears are even awake. Which that would be a good thing. You don't want to be out while they're up and at it, I guess. He said like it was a bad thing. I don't know. It was stupid. That one was just
Bears.
dumb. And I was like, even if you meant hibernation, like that's a good thing too because they're fucking hibernating. Anyway, that was stupid. And she was talking about like, oh, I was out here gathering wildflowers. Like real people don't actually say this. Like, I'm also just convinced she's not really a great actor, but that's a whole nother story. It kind of has a stereotypical feel, like a thriller. You can kind of predict what you think's going to happen, but with the whole idea of the shit that will paralyze you in 20 minutes is kind of a different spin on you. So the story wasn't bad. The execution did though feel a little bit ridiculous at times. Like they were both in the front seat of a car and she steers it into a tree, and they both literally don't have seatbelts on. She would have gotten straight up ejected out of the vehicle, and he would have been fucked up. But they were just like both like had a scratch on their face, were fine. And then just like stuff gets wilder and wilder. Like once she gets injected with the shit, um, which I'm really glad they didn't just have her just laying in the woods for the whole movie, which I kind of thought that was going to happen, but she somehow gets place to place. But that's a whole other story. Too. But she like floats down a river while she's like damn near fully paralyzed. It just goes through like rapids and stuff, and she just washes up, and she's like fine. I was literally like, you would have gotten so fucked up on all these like rocks, sticks, whatever. Not that pissed me off too. So it's kind of hard to suspend disbelief for some of this shit. But like I said, I didn't put a number on my review, but me and Tate both ended up thinking it was decent enough and worthy of a watch. I'll probably go like a 5.5 on it. So I think I liked it better than Woman of the Hour, which was just on Netflix too, and it actually got decent reviews. But I like this better than that, and I liked it better than Venom: The Last Dance for two more recent movies in the fives. I like that a little bit better than those two. So it's probably worth a watch. I could see throwing it on just some evening, you know. That's what I would do.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah. Netflix is always kind of hit or miss, but if you need something to watch, you can do worse.
Yeah. We were just saying, I've hardly even been watching Netflix lately. I just feel like I've been watching a lot more Hulu and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got back on Arcane, if you've seen that.
I'm not sure.
Arcane, it's the League of Legends animation show. Pretty good. Even if you know nothing about League of Legends, which I didn't know a ton. I barely played that game. But it's interesting enough, and Sophie seems to like it too. So there's some female appeal there as well.
Okay, that's cool. Check that one out.
All right. So I'm gonna nerd it up a little bit, watch an anime. Like I said here, I saw Look Back, which is a animated adaptation of the manga of the same name. And it is by the same writer of Chainsaw Man, Tatsuki Fujimoto. The same guy that wrote Chainsaw Man. This could not be more different than Chainsaw Man. This guy's range is very wide. So the movie follows a young girl. I think it starts out they're in like third grade or something like that, fourth grade. And then they age throughout it the whole way up until like, early 20s. So it's about a young girl who is really good at drawing and making comics, and she makes comics for her school newspaper. So like she's like real popular, famous, snobby, stuck up, overconfident in her abilities, making these comics. And then one day, the like newspaper editor, teacher, whatever, is like, "Hey, can we let this new girl submit a comic?" And just this one time. And she's like, "Yeah, that's fine, whatever." And so this new girl submits a comic, and she's way better at drawing and at everything. And everything's like, man, they make you look like an amateur to this girl who is like super cocky and everything. So I don't want to give too much of it away, but essentially that lights a fire under her ass to become better as an artist. And they end up meeting each other eventually. And again, it's just kind of like going back and forth, making each other better. It is a very dramatic movie. It is not a happy movie at all. I remember I read the manga years ago, and I didn't remember it much at all. I had to actually go and look back at my rating of the manga, and I'm like, I really like this. I don't remember this at all. And then very happy I saw it. The animation's very similar to the style of Chainsaw Man, of course, because it's the same dude. But it is, heartfelt at times, heartbreaking at others. But it's a very good watch, and it's only an hour long, actually less than an hour.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so ended up at an 8. I was very happy with this movie.
Solid.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Nice. I think I saw that whenever I was looking for the segment that we're going to do here after my last movie. I saw that movie and I didn't hear about it, and I didn't know what it was, so that's why I was confused. But okay, now I know.
Yeah,
it was cool on it. It looked like a different style.
It's really unique. They mess around a lot with like foreground, background type of stuff. But yeah, it was limited release in theaters. I had a buddy go and see it while it was in theaters for like maybe a single weekend. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know they made a movie for that. But now it's on Prime. So if you have Prime, cool. It's streaming there for free.
Nice. Speaking of going to a movie with a buddy, or a buddy going to the movie, I saw Heretic, and actually, I saw it with Mason. Haven't seen Mason in a
Oh,
long
really?
time. I saw it with Mason and Matt Miller and their girls. It was a good time. But straight up, in a year that has been jam packed with really good horror movies, we got another one here. I'm a huge Hugh Grant guy, and his performance in this movie was probably like honestly one of the better performances of the entire year. Not even just in horror, but just a great performance. He plays the part of a creepy religious lunatic so damn well. But it's currently 92% certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes and 77% audience on Rotten Tomatoes. So pretty decent there. It's about two young religious women who are drawn into a game of cat and mouse in the house of a strange man. So this one's directed by Scott Beck and Brian Woods. And this is why two other guys I hadn't known a lot about them either, but I think they wrote A Quiet Place, and I think they wrote the movie 65 with Adam Driver that was a huge flop. The one where they like go back to the future or something, like back
Oh,
to
is
the
it like
past.
the space one with
The
that?
dinosaur one, yeah.
Yes, I watched like 40 minutes of that on a plane. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah. I don't even think I gave it the time of day because apparently it just sucked. But so they had some kind of attachment to that. But this one's starring Hugh Grant, Sophie Thatcher, who was known for Yellow Jackets, I think, and a few other movie roles, and then a girl named Chloe East, who was in The Fablemans and a couple other things. So they're not as well known as Hugh Grant, obviously, but they were both really good too. But the whole movie pretty much just takes place in one setting. It's Hugh Grant's house, which seems like all fine and dandy in the beginning, and then once things start to get weird and creepy, it's just there's so much tension. It feels like you can cut it with a knife, and it's really good at keeping you guessing on what they're going to do and how it's going to go. So I like that quite a bit. It definitely starts off hot and kind of cools down for a bit, and it becomes a little bit preachy about religion because the two girls are Mormons, so they're there to kind of preach about Mormonism to him, and he ends up knowing about more about it than they do. But apparently, the two girls in this movie were raised Mormons, and they're not Mormons anymore, so they knew all about it.
Sure.
Saw that in the trivia and IMDb. Shout out to it. But the ending, though, it did turn around back for me because it kind of went a different way than I expected it to. So I was happy that it did that. But every scene Hugh Grant's in, though, he just steals the show. I saw a good review about this one too. They said it's a smart thriller that transforms into a horror film as things effectively go from playful to sinister. It isn't afraid to challenge the viewer's beliefs, and it knows how to entertain its audience. I did see a lot of people like on Instagram and TikTok saying it's the best horror movie of the year. I don't think that's the case at all for me. I liked it. Yeah, for sure. I like this one quite a bit. It was good. It definitely it's a little bit of a slow burn, but it keeps you guessing, keeps you engaged, and I went with a 7.6 on it. So one of the better horrors of the year in the year that we've gotten a lot of it.
Awesome. Yeah. Glad that there's finally another horror thriller
Mhm.
movie that's worth the watch.
Yeah.
It's rare to get multiple in honestly a single
Mhm.
year.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was going to be like so about religion, but it is, but at the same time, there's like more going on than just that. So it kind of
I guess that kind of makes sense because I think what's the
heretic.
definition of heretic?
Yeah,
That's
I
like
think it's
someone who
something
goes
like that.
against it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That makes sense.
that makes actually a ton of sense. Then that's
Mhm.
cool.
And the only reason I really know like the definition of that is from Halo 2. With the
Okay.
armor, they label him a
Yeah.
heretic, and yeah,
But
that's where that comes from.
yeah, I definitely think this one's worth a watch. I'm curious to see if you're gonna like it as much as I do.
Yeah, that's one I have on my list, and I'll definitely end up watching. Don't Move, not so sure about, but Heretic,
Yeah, Don't Move.
I'll hop in there.
I'd watch Heretic over Don't Move any day. Wow, now the guys are fighting on a tire.
What?
I look back up at
Wow,
TV car jitsu or whatever. Now they're just like fighting on a gigantic tractor
now
tire.
it's tire jitsu.
That's crazy. So you can tell there hasn't been going too much going on this episode whenever I'm being
Yeah.
caught off guard by tractor jujitsu.
Um,
But I did come up with a new concept here for a game.
oh
I
yeah.
was gonna try to figure out the 10 highest rated user reviews on Letterbox, but for some reason they made that so hard to do. And even IMDb didn't make it easy on me here, or Rotten Tomatoes. But let's see if you can guess the top 10
Top
rated
10.
movies on IMDb this year. All
All
right.
right, I'm gonna
Let's hear
stick with
let's
the original answer of Dune 2.
Okay, there you go. Number
Okay.
one.
Good, okay, all right. What and these are user ratings.
Mhm.
I know the Wild Robot was up there.
That's number two.
Okay. Deadpool?
Deadpool's number four.
Okay, what the fuck's number 3? I'm just trying to think of the good movies I've seen recently.
I will say that
Transformers?
you haven't Transformers number 5.
Okay.
I will say you haven't seen 3.
Is it the one you just saw, Anora?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Nailing this.
6,
Um,
7, 8, 9, and 10.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm trying to think back. Is the Bike Riders up there?
No, it's not.
Fucker.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I even see that on the list here. It's number.
Oh man, it's on the way down there. That's kind of surprising.
Yeah, it's way down there. It's not even in the top 50 of the way we have
Wow.
it set up. Yeah,
Okay.
which is kind of fucked up.
Substance?
No Substance, which is kind of wild too. Substance is, let's see. Oh wait, Substance is like, maybe it doesn't count as US.
Oh,
Maybe
really?
it was a French film or something. Technically, like maybe since it was, I don't know, but it should be. You'd think it would be on this list, but it's not.
Yeah. The hell. Okay. Fine.
No Substance.
There's no substance. What the fuck else have I seen recently that was good? Definitely not Joker. Definitely not Venom.
Nope.
Probably not Terrifier.
Yeah, and I will say the ratings were only, the highest rated was 8.5 and 10
Okay.
is a 6.9. So
Oh shit, that's a range. Okay.
yeah, IMDb, like, they're stingy.
They're wild.
10 is gonna shock you.
Children's movie. Inside Out.
Inside Out is number 6. So now you just need 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I think, well, you haven't seen 7. I don't know if you've seen 8. You definitely, I think you saw 9, and you
I
haven't seen
fucking
10.
hated this movie, but I think it had a really good rating. Challengers.
No Challengers.
Okay, good. Okay, that gives me hope for humanity. Furiosa.
No Furiosa either, which is kind of shocking.
Damn, okay, and I've seen these. Civil War wasn't that great, so I'm not going to say that one.
You should say it.
Fuck, really? Civil
Yeah,
War.
Civil War's number 9.
Wow. Okay.
So
That's
these last 3, you might not have seen these last 3. 7, 8,
Have
and
you?
10. I've seen 7, 8, and not 10.
8, not 10.
And
Okay,
we talked about 1 last week and 2 this week.
Did I say Long Legs?
No Long Legs. I don't know why Long Legs.
It's
Nope.
Oh, this nutsack. That's the substance. Man, I'm running out.
We'll definitely have a tighter list next time we want to do this and try to figure out the optimal way to do this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like these are a little bit suspect. But I'll give you 10. It's Red 1. It's one of the highest user. That is 6.9 with 19,000 votes.
All right, we need to stop letting these children vote.
Civil War had 191,000. That was 9.
It's sickening.
8 and 7. I'll give you.
Alien?
8 and 7. No Alien. No Alien.
God damn it.
Which it should be higher up on this list too. You'd think, because I thought people liked that movie. Now I'm wondering what the ratings were on those movies, or if there's just a filter that for some reason it's not on this list. But 7 and 8. Well, any last guesses? Both horror movies.
Both horror. Okay, never mind. That throws off my guess because I was about to do just the like big blockbuster movies like Planet of the Apes and
right
and Godzilla. I was
Planet of the Apes was 15.
Okay, so both horror movies. A Quiet Place?
No Quiet Place.
Maxine?
No Maxine. Maxine's 27.
God damn it.
Quiet Place is 28.
Horror. Now, okay, when you say horror, are we thinking like actually like super duper?
One is horror and the other is more thriller. And we talked about the one that was horrific last week. That's number 8.
Okay, and I have one more.
Yep, and we talked about it today.
Heretic?
Yep.
Okay, so man, it feels like there's like some weird recency.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels like there's some things that like should be higher up. Or just maybe there's still just we didn't play with these filters enough, but yeah.
Hey, we got it. It took a lot of spitball, and like if we were playing like Hangman style or something,
we'd be dead.
But yeah.
I mean, this list is kind of wild. Like
Civil War is shocking.
Yeah, number 11 is a movie called Caddo Lake. No idea what the hell that is. Like some of these movies suck. That's got 55 Metascore, 6.9 IMDb. So like number 12 was Speak No Evil. 13 was The Fall Guy. 14 was Monkey Man. You said Furiosa. I'm shocked that's not on the list because I know people like that, but critically or just didn't make a lot of money.
That's what I had to go
75
I had to go look up the ratings for Longer Legs. It keeps coming down. It's at a 6.7. People are, it's because it got
Huh?
memed to hell.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, technically, Furiosa has a higher rating than 7, 8, 9, and 10 on this list we just did, but
Interesting. There's just
so
some weird
there's just
popularity
some weird
filter,
pool.
maybe.
Yeah. I think the more you play with like that number of votes things or something like
We'll
that,
get there too.
I think if you max it out, like probably like if you started at like 30,000, I bet that'd probably be a good starting. I'm going to do that real quick.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Well, Anora only has 17,000.
Yeah. So you'd have to do like 17,000 to probably like
Right.
150,000.
Okay.
I think that would probably be the most, I guess. I don't know.
We'll play with it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll have a better segment for next episode. We needed something though. We didn't have a lot this week.
This wasn't a full thing, and I think we're still like actually we might have hit an hour. Let's find out.
I think we are. We're close.
What the fuck does this say? 6:19. Yeah, no, we're right below.
Wow.
Look at us go. It always ends up that way.
It does. We always start riffing on stuff going off.
Good for us.
And perfect timing. The UFC fights are just now starting.
That's right. The ones people care about.
Yeah. And in about 12 hours, I'm getting ready to wake up early, go to the Steelers game tomorrow.
Yeah, dude.
Ravens and Steelers.
The fucking best game.
I'm so excited. I would do terrible things for the Steelers to win.
Yeah. So I just put out the other podcast like a few hours ago, and I said that. I'm like, people don't realize like this happens every year that Baltimore, specifically Lamar, comes to Pittsburgh and he shits his pants.
Yeah, he's 1-4. I feel like a lot of the times we've played Baltimore, it's been like Tyler Huntley or like a game where like just he hasn't played, and then whenever he does play, he just gets fucked up. Got his number.
A weird thing. He can't figure it out. Like
TJ Watt shaved his head.
You're done. He's faster now, more aerodynamic.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm fucking stoked for that game.
Yeah, I can't wait.
You might see Neil down there if you want to give him a text.
Yeah.
I would imagine there's no reason he's not, because he lives up the street from the PPG arena.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I know he was like a big anti-Russ guy. How are we feeling about Russell Wilson now?
It's weird because like we're wedding and everything closer to liking Arthur Smith a little more. I think he's a decent offensive coordinator. Russ does the job. We don't need a fantastic quarterback. We never have. You know, it's just like, don't be old Russell Wilson. And I'm not super convinced of that yet, but we'll see. Because he made some really dumb throw last week that I was like, oh no, he's coming back. It scared me. But he's okay. He's all right. The real thing is he's a good dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
he's embraced Pittsburgh for sure.
Exactly. It's hard to hate him. He's just a goober.
He is. But I did get the Danger Russ sandwich last night from Permanis, and it was incredible. Basically, just an Italian hoagie with bacon on it.
I was going to say, they did it better than Subway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Unlimited.
Diarrhea.
Literally.
Well, that'll do it for this episode. Good way to end it with a big Steelers dub.
That's the episode.
Come back next week to see if we're happy or sad about that. But
and if we're happy or sad about Wicked and Gladiator. I'm probably gonna have to pull a Barbenheimer for this. I'm gonna see both. Yeah,
that is a contrast there. Hey, at least this time going in to Wicked, it's a musical and it's supposed to be.
Wicked's a musical? What is it?
Yeah.
I forgot it was for a second.
I thought that was a bit. I was like,
I actually genuinely didn't forget that it was a musical. Right. And now, it is absolutely a musical. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. I sadly had to sing one of those songs in chorus in high school from Wicked. That's why
it's a musical, dude.
Yeah, burned in my head. There's a South Park episode about it too. They're like, "You watch a game? No, I went to see the Wicked the other night. Why? It's great. You get a blowjob after."
In Heretic, they definitely reference the Book of Mormon too. They're like, "Yeah, South Park made fun of us in this. It's really funny."
Hell yeah. But all right, folks, we will see you next week.
Wicked weekend.